So the title of my talk is Fit In or Get Out. What if through claiming our gender, we claimed our true strength? So when it comes to gender, what does it mean to be strong? Muscles, eating a lot of spinach, physical dominance, hard at work, being political, aggressive even, having the power to move heavy weights or perform other physically demanding tasks is the actual definition as stated in Webster's dictionary. But I question this definition of strong. To me, claiming our gender is claiming our strength. And when we don't allow people the opportunity to claim their gender, we're preventing them from claiming their strength. So my first job out of college, way back in the early 2000s, was at a very female-dominated company, Caterpillar. I'm kidding. There are no female-dominated companies, of course. So it was the early 2000s, and I was raised by a single mom. She told me that the feminists had cleared the way. The world was equal now. I would be treated just the same as any of my male colleagues. So imagine my surprise when I entered the doors on day one, and I look around, and there's 10 guys and me in this company leadership development program. So fast forward a few years, this is me. So I'm driving an excavator here, which actually was very fun. What you can't see in this picture though, is on most days, what I was wearing was men's steel-toed boots. They didn't even offer women's sizes, khaki pants, a polo, all finished with my Caterpillar coat that again was only available in men's sizes. That's what all the men wore. And so I found a way to blend in and look more masculine. So I look like a man. I tried to fit in. I was strong by other standards, but not by my own. This is the first time I can tell you I experienced this fleeting feeling of fit in or get out. I'm going to argue that gender is a construct. And our brain loves categories and patterns. In fact, we're wired for it. So through books, through stories, messages, we've actually created gender as a category. We want to check the box, boy or girl, man or woman, as if there's no in between. In reality, there's actually a lot of gray area. Gender is fluid. A lot of cultures have historically believed that there are more than 2 genders, as many as 5 gender identities. And gender is a spectrum, so it goes beyond this binary image displayed here. But very few organizations get this. In fact, I've heard a lot of doozies over the years in doing what I do. Like the countless times I've been told that women want to stay at home with their children, and that's why they're not advancing in their careers. As if it's a choice, men are fathers too, come on. The time I was challenged on stage about the Bible supporting male supremacy, that was a tough one. Or the time a tech company hosted a pool party and the women did not feel comfortable wearing their bathing suits in front of their male colleagues. These are innocent examples of people trying to be inclusive, but flat out just missing the mark. So I want you to think about the organizations you've worked for, maybe work for today. Does it look like this? This is a typical org chart. This is you. You're not alone. Did you know that there are more people named James leading Fortune 500 companies than there are women total? As a woman, as a person who doesn't see yourself fitting into this org chart, you'll leave. I know I did. The 12 years I served in corporate America, I never had the opportunity to work in an organization led by a woman. It's important that we see ourselves represented in the fabric of the organizations that we're a part of and in societies. Otherwise, we feel this feeling of fit in or get out. So here's what I know to be true, some fast facts. 31% of Gen Z, the next generation entering the workforce today, identifies as LGBTQ. 50% of gay people are closeted in the workplace. And companies that are diverse and inclusive make better decisions 87% of the time and also average 19% higher revenue rates. I also know that 100% of us are going to mess this up at some point, and that's okay. I myself have made this mistake about gender as male versus female. I've written books about it, in fact. A Winning Game Plan for Women, Men as Allies for Women. And my latest work, Lead Like an Ally, really helps better understand that it's a spectrum, actually embraces all dimensions of diversity, including race, LGBTQ, and many other elements of our identities, because gender is just one piece of that puzzle. So I've contributed to this problem. We all have, and I'm open to learning and to getting better. And that's what it's going to take for us to all lead like what I call an ally. So check boxes are very binary. You've probably encountered many of these check boxes yourself, male or female. But there's more than two genders. So let's look back to help us look forward and understand what this binary means. Humans have been on the planet for about 200,000 years, and we've been egalitarian across genders for nearly that entire human history until just 12,000 years ago. What changed? We stopped hunting and gathering, and we began to farm. That changed everything. Why? The farm plow favored men's superior upper body strength, and women were sent home to have children to support the farm. Only the last 10% of our human history has actually been this way. And did you know that when you ask boys and girls alike what a leader looks like, nearly 100% of the time they draw a man? Because that's what we teach them at school. Yeah, we have Susan B. Anthony, Rosa Parks, and a few other token examples of women leaders. They're far, far outnumbered by men leading. We also teach gender socialization. I remember reading this book as a kid. Who remembers the Berenstain Bears? This one in particular struck me. No girls allowed. As a little girl, I remember being so confused. Why were girls not welcome? Why did it have to just be boys versus girls? In fact, there are a few key milestones in gender socialization, and it begins as early as the womb. Gender reveal parties, baby showers, this constant question, is it a boy or is it a girl? And I'm actually expecting right now, and that is the first question everyone asks me. And I love to say, I don't know what the gender is. We'll find out someday. I know the sex is a girl. At birth, we have hat colors in the hospital, clothing, baby room decor. Age 5, we have boy and girl lines at school, Halloween costumes that are princesses versus superheroes. Boys do this, girls do this. Boys can roughhouse, girls play with dolls. And at age 8, a girl's confidence peaks. It's the highest it will be in her lifetime. At the same time this happens, we call boys gay if they show weakness or emotion. We teach this. This is not natural. This is not biological. How is this helpful? Today in 2020, women are actually just hot off the press is 7% of Fortune 500 CEOs, which is still a very sad, low number. 1 in 3 women will be sexually assaulted in their lifetime, and women make 82 cents on the dollar compared to similar work as their male counterparts. That number is actually far worse for women of color. We experience this through gender socialization. We create this feeling of fit in or get out, and it doesn't have to be that way. Physical strength doesn't equal strong. Remember at the beginning when I showed you all those pictures of strong men and women? It's a mentality. It's not a physicality. To be strong, one must persevere, be brave, do hard things, be yourself, be your full self, especially when it's hard. And I'll offer an alternative definition. Claiming our gender is claiming our strength. Being strong is being your full self, even when it's hard, especially when it's uncomfortable. Progressive companies are expanding these boxes. It's not just male or female, it can be gender neutral. My home state of Indiana has expanded and added gender neutral to our state's driver's license. Why should we do this? It's the right thing to do for all humans, for those that identify as men, for those that identify as women, and for all those in between on that gender spectrum. What I know to be true, that if someone's hiding a part of their gender identity, they're not being their full self. They're not as productive or creative as they could potentially be, and we're all losing out by them holding back their unique gifts and talents. Maslow has been saying this since 1942. Remember the hierarchy of needs? At the base of our needs are physiological, right? Food, water, shelter. Safety is next. And then we are social creatures, so we actually seek connection and belonging in that third tier. And if we don't belong, we will not stay. Fit in or get out does not work. And it never did. The thing is, unchecking the box works. I've experienced in my own life. I'm a product, I said before, of a single mom that played dual roles in gender while I was growing up. Today, I see my daughter thriving most when she's encouraged to be brave and kind. And I was raised by this strong woman, Nancy, a woman who taught me that true strength is being your full self, even when you don't want to. As a single mom, as a hard worker, as a woman that was the strongest person I've ever known up until she took her last breath. I remember being with her in the hospital and holding her hand and saying to her, I will be strong, just like you. I will raise my daughter to be just like us. And I get to do that today. You bet every night when I put her to bed, I'm reminding her of what her true strength is. So here's what a typical night looks like at our house, our nightly ritual. Jane tucks herself in. She says her words. I am strong. I am brave. I am kind. I am funny. I am smart. I'm beautiful. And then she says, repeat them back to me, Mom. And I say, Jane is smart. Jane is beautiful. Jane is kind. Jane is funny. Jane is brave. Jane is strong. And I always emphasize the strong. The thing is, gender is a construct. You need to redefine strong from a gender perspective. True strength is being who you are, especially when it's hard. Real strength is not a cliche. It's being real even when it's hard. And I get it. To unlearn a system is hard, and this is a system. We're all playing a role. Ask yourself, how is this system working for me? Think about a time you had to fit in or get out. We're all affected by this. No more check boxes. Really what those boxes are fit in or get out. I invite you today to uncheck the box. I invite you to empathize with those who don't fit into the systems we've created. Feels good to help people, to let people uncheck their box. You'll be better for accepting people expressing their true selves. We all will be stronger for it.